Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Matt DeLockery. Today, I want to talk about CrossFit in church. As you know, I used to do CrossFit because I'm talking about it, but you know that I don't currently do it because I didn't talk about it in the first 2 minutes that we've ever met or on the first very episode that I've ever done. Jokes aside, I want to talk about CrossFit because I think there's something that church can learn from it. So here's what goes on at a CrossFit relative to a normal gym. One thing is you pay many times more money per month to go to a CrossFit than you do a normal gym. And two, the experience is way, way harder. I mean, you can push yourself at a gym or you can not. But very, very commonly, if you go to a CrossFit, what's going to happen is after you're done with one of the workouts, you're going to find yourself on the floor panting for breath because you can barely breathe, you can't move, and it's just, you've totally wiped yourself out. And this is a regular occurrence from a lot of people. And you pay a lot of money for this. Why? I mean, one, why would you pay to do something that's unpleasant? And two, you can make yourself super tired all on your own, right? I mean, why pay somebody to make you tired? Like, you can just go work out in your yard or something if you want to do that. But people do that, and I did it for years. So what's going on and why, and what can church learn from this? Well, one of the things that I find very, very unique about CrossFit is that exact thing that people will push themselves really, really hard. And that's part of why people go and why they pay for it, is because there's something about it. The way they organize their classes, the way they run their workouts, it's like a challenge to see how far can you get. They always count reps. They count time. They try to see how fast, how far, how much you can lift, do, work, all of the things. And you're doing it next to other people. And on the one hand, you're trying to beat the person next to you, or at least not lose to them too badly. But on the other hand, it also comes with a very, very positive attitude. And CrossFits are generally pretty good about this, that you want the other person to do as well as they possibly can. You're not trying to beat them by, tripping them up or hoping that they fail. You hope they do as well as they possibly can. You just want to do better. But I mean, if you have enough energy when you're done with your workout, you're going to cheer on the person next to you and hope that they achieve their best workout that they can. And this seems like the sort of attitude that people should have in church. Like, we should be trying as hard as we can to do the best job that we can and not just sort of sit there passively and, sort of the equivalent of hopping on a bike and pedaling for 10 minutes without ever really trying and then going home and saying, oh, well, I've done a great job. That's not the same thing as somebody who, ends up on the floor because they physically can't stand up anymore. That's a different level of intensity. And I sort of wonder why we don't have that kind of intensity in church. Why don't we care as much about something that we claim is of internal importance as somebody who's trying to get a really good workout in? The one is more important than the other. And the other thing that happens is when you go to gyms in general, but CrossFits in particular, people really, really are interested in trying to get rid of their weaknesses. Like, if you have a really bad squat, or if you have poor mobility, or if your running's not any good, this isn't something that you try to hide. I mean, first of all, you can't, because, a workout's going to come up where it's going to be made obvious that you're not good at something. But second, no one tries to hide it. There's no shame about it. It's like, oh man, like I don't have mobility, and I can't get my shoulder back the way it's supposed to. And so people will come alongside you, say, well, I've had trouble with this before. Here, try this. This helped me. Or the coaches will be like, okay, if you do these sorts of things, every day, then this will help you improve and this will help get your mobility better. And the same thing with running or squats or pull-ups or handstands or whatever the thing is. In church, we hide our faults instead of talking about them. We don't talk about them because we don't want to deal with them. Whereas in the workout, we want to deal with them so we can improve our time, improve our score, whatever the thing is. Why is it that in church, again, a thing that we were talking about as of eternal significance, why is it that we're not trying to deal with our weaknesses? Whereas in the gym, in a CrossFit, we're doing everything we can. We're open about our weaknesses. Now, I understand there seems to be less shame attached to this, to the CrossFit stuff. Like, if you have poor push-ups abilities, or you have poor running, like it's not like you don't feel like you failed as a human. Like, I get that, but it's not a success as a human either if you suddenly get those things. It's more with church. Like, if you're not good with one particular thing, whether it's a moral issue or praying or reading your Bible, whatever the thing is, you don't know much theology, or you're not very good at living the Christian life, whatever the sides of the thing is, we hide it instead of address it and deal with it, which is the exact thing we should do if we're trying to improve. And so while it is a bit painful to deal with it, like, the rewards are much better too. So it's more painful to deal with, but there is a higher reward, because if you fix those things, you actually will be a better human. So what I want to know is, why can't church be a bit more like CrossFit? Because I think maybe it should be. And, I'm not trying to get everybody to drink the Kool-Aid and all become CrossFitters. Like, I'm not doing that. If you want to do that, great. If you don't want to do that, it's also great. Whatever. But that attitude of trying as hard as you can and being open about the things that you're still weak at and looking for help in an environment where that's accepted and nobody thinks that that's a problem, both to admit that there's something wrong, because nobody's perfect, and to try to get help to deal with the things that aren't perfect, because we all need help in something. Some people are better at some things than others, and that's just how it is, because they put more time in, they're more naturally gifted, so on and so forth. But the idea should be that we're trying as hard as we can to try to become the best people we can be, and that should be something we put enough effort into that we're lying on the ground afterwards because we're so exhausted from giving everything that we've had. So why is a church like that?